Oh my gosh. Okay.
Hey, girl.
We are hey girl.
Matching hair. How about that, girl? I
We're
mean,
just freestyling right now. We're just having a little freestyle of a moment. Oh my gosh, I missed you so much when you were gone. And then I kind of went dark for a little bit because I was literally having a bit of a hard time. And I don't want this to be a dark conversation. I want it to be light and lovely, but a little dark time, um, with my dad and some stuff. But um, yeah, but no, life is good. And I'm super excited about 2026. I'm super, super. I tell you, when we got these things gifted to us,
I can't wait to have them.
I know, I can't wait to give it to you. I only have one of this one, but I have another one of this one. I could not wait to show you, and it really this is like a real thing. Like this is a really courageous effort, and that notebook that you keep raising.
Wait, which one? I'm sorry. This one, one that I always bring up because I don't think you realize how important it is. Like this is our Bible.
I'm
Okay.
laughing because when I first started this thing, and before I brought you into the chat, I would sit here on this couch and I would copiously like watch every. Are you laughing? What's going
I was
on?
laughing. I'm sorry. I was laughing. Like kind of
Copiously taking like, okay, doing a podcast and stepping in the podcast space is one thing. Doing a podcast and stepping into a space that's counter to what other podcasts are doing as relates to this
Mhm.
medium is a whole different thing. Doing a podcast on Erica Jane is the whole next level, right? Uh, most disliked, super complicated, super layered, and I love it. I love complications. I love layers. I love textures. This is why I don't want to put any pans off. This is why
because
I
you
shop at certain
truly
places.
believe in the good edit,
This
my
is why I
dear.
shop at certain places and dress certain ways because I love the layers and the textures and the all of it. Leave it at that. So that book like was like months of just taking every note. Okay, she said this at 2 minutes and 33 seconds, da da da, because I didn't want to get it wrong. And then I remember when I was gonna meet you, I was so nervous. I and
Mhm.
going to Staples and putting the
In
book
the Wendy's
together.
parking lot.
And
We
then
love
what is
Wendy's. So
So I'm probably just gonna keep that as an archive of all the hard work. But man, what fun we're having! What fun we're having, and it's okay that people get it, and it's okay if people don't get it. Like we're having a ball doing it.
no, but I think the whole
Our best
purpose
at it.
behind it is I would never do anything that I didn't believe in. And
True.
through the conversations that we've had, we don't agree on everything. And I don't think it's about
I know you
agreeing.
said
I
something
think
today I
it's
didn't agree with, but I was okay with
right.
it.
But I don't even think it's about agreeing. I think it's more about tell me about your perspective, tell me why. And if you're able to communicate that with somebody else, when they know that your intentions are pure, not with the
Oh,
intent to hurt, because I think this is where we're at right now. If you don't agree with me, then your opinion means shit. And I get really upset with that because
I do
I'm
too.
going, you don't
I do
need
too.
to have my same opinion. I just want to know that my opinion is heard and that you hear it. Because just because it's heard doesn't mean that you hear it.
You're it.
I think it really needs to be tell me how you know that. And when you're talking to the right people, the, validation doesn't mean that you agree. Validation really comes from, wow, I let that conversation going. They understood the intent behind it. And that's really all it is. And
Yeah.
and I think the power in communication is strictly from do
Mhm.
you respect my opinion? Do you respect what I'm trying to say? And do you, not necessarily that you have to believe me, but do you understand or giving me notions? Do you understand why I feel the way that I do? And if
Let
you
me,
can do that, done.
yeah. Let me ask you a question. Have you, when you think about like your life, and I want to apologize in advance, fans, and maybe I won't put this on YouTube because I've been like getting into the movement of the Quest chips.
Protein.
Oh my God, I love these chips so much. I will actually get up at midnight. I'll fall asleep on the couch And before I go upstairs, I don't know what it is, I gotta have something crunchy to eat. And then I will go and I will claw my way into these chips, and I'll get a little napkin.
Time, the last
It's a very religious ritual. I'll get my little napkin, and I'll put, like, 6 of them. These
now
things
I
are
know what the
so
orange
delish.
specks were on your outfit the last time we got
Oh,
together.
shoot.
It was
Are they
from
on
the
my outfit? Are they on my
equestrian.
shirt?
Now I know what they were. They were
They're
the
so good.
question
And
chips.
you can really, like, jazz it up with, like, a little, like, chili. Now they sell
Yeah.
Wendy's chili in a can. They sell Wendy's chili in a can, although it's very salty. You gotta, like,
I
jazz it
make
up a
it.
little
I
bit.
have the recipe. I make it for my family twice a
Okay,
month.
we
I
need to do
literally have the
that's the
recipe.
double date. We need to so you take some chili, you take a little bit of this
Um,
in a pie pan thing, you pour this over it, chili, cheese, bake, boom. Sour cream, green onions, purple onions.
well, I'm lactose intolerant, but I can do most of that, so I'm
What does
ready.
that have to do with the sour cream? Yeah.
And the cheese.
So let me take another bite of this before I ask my question.
And by the way, the crunch sounds so good, Elle.
It's
I'm
so
just
good.
gonna throw it out there.
It's so good. They're better than Doritos. They're so good. So get at it. Yeah. They're
That's
literally better than
bold.
Doritos. I know, I can't get enough of them. But thinking about your life, turning tell me about a time where you were judged with immediacy and your reality was not understood.
Oh, oh my gosh. And you just want one?
Yeah, I just want one, and then and then I'm gonna think of some that I've had
Sure.
too.
No, sure. Um, the first thing that comes to mind was, you know, walking 7 blocks to the bus stop growing up in high school, and sometimes the weather in Western Pennsylvania was quite harsh, and my mom would wake up extra early to take me, drop me off at school, so I'd have to, dust off the car if the snow came or whatever. It was an old yellow car with rust stains on it you couldn't imagine, and I remember my mom dropping me off, and there was a circle leading me to where they were dropping us off at school, and there was a line to do it, right? The drop off. And I got out of the car, and my mom had just said to me, "I love you. Have a good day." And I had just shut the door. And when I looked out, this girl goes, "Nice car," starts laughing, mocking. And all I can remember was my mom woke up early. This was the only car that we've had in 3 years. She drops me off. And thank goodness that I shut the car door before my mom heard it. So, um, when you're judged because of materials, when you're judged because of
Yeah.
your place in life, materials can be taken away so quickly. And it's
Mhm.
funny how we blanket ourselves, and if we have more money, that means we have more security or this or that. Not always, because that can be stripped away so quickly. I think it comes down to surrounding yourself with people that, whether you are poor, whether you're rich, whether you've gained weight, whether you've lost weight, just kind of see you for who you are. And in that moment, all I felt was poor,
Mm.
and all I felt was not enough. And I remember it, and all I could think of was, thank goodness I closed the door. I did not want my mom to hear that. It wasn't even so much about me, it was the one providing for me. I did not want her thinking that. So that's what comes to mind.
Wow. Have you seen that replicated in your adult life? Similar situations?
Uh, I'll say this. Yes.
Mhm.
Um, when I moved to California, when I moved out here, I was making 11.25 an hour working for abused children. Through my internship, they gave me a job. I was making $90 a day, and the first weekend I was here, I didn't get a paycheck, and I had from moving out here. I moved out to California with $500 in my pocket, and we had a 3-day weekend. And at the agency that I worked for, we would eat with the kids, we'd get breakfast and lunch. Um, so on a Friday, I realized we weren't getting paid until Tuesday. And I did not want to ask my parents for money because I was like, I'm a college graduate. What am I doing if I can't do this? So I, that whole weekend, a lot of my friends were going out of town. It was Super Bowl weekend. Um, Everybody was going out doing things, and I couldn't afford it. And I got a lot of, "Why aren't you going out?" Was so I had to play sick the whole time, I had to pretend I was okay.
Mm.
I was drinking water from my faucet for 2.5 days to fill my stomach up until I could get my next meal that Tuesday, so I didn't eat from Friday at 1 p.m. until Tuesday at 8 a.m.
Wow, Chris.
And I did not tell my parents about that until years afterwards. So I remember that weekend of, um not wanting to let other people down,
Yeah.
but also not wanting my parents to feel like it was my responsibility. I'll never forget it. If I had to think of one defining moment, it was surviving surviving those 3 days going, and I'm sure people have far worse stories, believe me, and I totally get that. But for me, it was more of a and it was more my fault when I think about it in retrospect. I had people I could have relied on, and I didn't do that. And I was a little too stubborn, but I thought, oh, the money in my bank account, my position in life was a bigger, I was too prideful. And I will never, I haven't made that mistake since.
Just put it out there.
Yeah. So tell me you. I feel awful now.
Wow, no, that's deep.
Yeah.
That tells me a lot of who you are and why you move so humbly in the world, you know? I mean, you have such a, sincere and open spirit about yourself, you know? It's really quite refreshing and delightful. I'm so thankful to know that. I'm so thankful to know you, and I'm now you make a lot of sense to me. I'm getting all emotional.
Well, no, it's the first time I've actually ever said that. Like, I don't even think, like, I don't even know if my sister knows that
Yeah.
story, and
You
she's the
okay?
closest person to me. Uh,
You need a hug?
uh,
Here, come come
you know
come
what it
here.
does? Do you know
Come
what it
here.
does? It was, um, I got back from the holidays and just to go to the store and pick up whatever I want till this day,
Yeah,
going to the store and picking whatever I want off the
yeah.
shelves and not really thinking about it too
But
much.
stay in that place. Like, stay in that humility, that place of humility.
Yeah.
And you know what I mean? Like, it's a good pla I mean, tragic as it was, it's a good memory to have.
Mhm.
I mean, some of my leaner moments in life, thankful for it. Yeah,
Mm.
super thankful for it. Whether that was lean economically or lean socially, you know? Um, and so I was thinking about, in terms of the good at it, you know, um, where my reality where my reality wasn't really seen or not really validated. I'm thinking about moving from starting off as a little girl in Compton, happy, had the world, anything I wanted, friends, respect from teachers, you know, beautiful life, right? And then we moved to, I'm just gonna let it go nameless, a dreadful part of Southern California that, where I was the only one. I was the only Black person in the school. I was not emotionally prepared for that at 8, 9 years old. And it went from having a season of high social currency to having all a bunch of friends around me and everybody knew me to moving into this space. And remember that first day walking into that classroom and I'm like, this doesn't feel, oh, we ain't in Compton no more. Like, this feels different. Okay, let me sit down. I sat in the third row on the right hand side. next to this other girl. Her name was Kristen, and now that I think about it, I didn't realize it at the time. I think Kristen was black, but I didn't realize it at the time because I didn't know, like, I could but I think she was, like, clearly biracial, but didn't claim me at all. I had no friends, Chris. I'm gonna tell you the worst moment in my life of first of all, I was traumatized that nobody knew how to play double dutch. That really bothered me. Like, I come out here
The
like, nobody
jump
could play
rope.
yeah, nobody could play double dutch. I was the double dutch queen back in the day. Nobody could play double dutch, and so that was, like, problematic already. Okay, fine, whatever. But I think the most disturbing I had 2 episodes, but I'll only talk about 1 today, that were super, super, alienating and not feeling seen, and my person not feeling seen was on Valentine's Day. And the way that they used to do it at this particular school is that the teacher would take little bags and everybody would have their personal bag taped against the chalkboard and everybody would go in and put cards in everybody's bag, right? So I was so excited. I'm like, okay, well maybe they'll like me now. My mom took me to Thrifties over there on and bought me the cards and I wrote all the cards and I went down and put everybody's bag and then I go and I grab my bag, which happened to be right in the center, no less. Not one card in it. Not one card. You talk about so white kids didn't like me, right? And then you fast track to, a certain junior high school, trying to make it not go nameless, and black kids didn't like me either. In fact, I was doing black kids' homework for them to like me, and I remember my so-called friend, who I used to go to the skating rink with, lures me to the back of the school, and, the black girls who I was trying to be friends with, like, finally I found my tribe, took turns beating me up, took turns hitting me in the stomach, like, one by one by one by one, and you know what I did? I took it. I took it. I didn't tell my mom, like, never knew about this until, like, about 5 or 6 years ago. I finally told her. I don't know why I never thought to tell her. I just didn't think to tell her, just like, "This is another day of school," you know? So, people saw me in Compton, but when I moved to this particular part of town, people didn't see me. People didn't see the black kids didn't see me. Uh, then I became a behavior problem. They wanted to put me in special education. I'm like, "I'm not special ed, but maybe but I was gifted at Compton, now I'm special ed? My behaviors are because nobody is seeing me right now." You know what I mean? Ah, so, yeah, and I can laugh about it now, but you had me tell the story 2 years ago, I would tear up, like, every time
Yeah.
because that's how deep but, like, now I laugh about it. And I actually connected with the bully that bullied me, and I said, "You remember me?" Yeah, she remembered and was I don't think she ever really apologized. I think she was just kind of, like, uncomfortable about the whole thing, but, yeah,
As she should.
that was, like, very early on to go from being seen to not being seen, and I'm telling you from 6th grade on, I hated school. I hated it so much. I was alone, like, most times. Nobody ever saw who I really was, but they made judgments about who I was and then decided I was not worthy enough to be in their company. It's so weird. But I'm thankful for it. I'm super thankful for it because it made me super resilient and super observant of people and s well, I wouldn't say super confident, but I'm okay with my own skin, for better, for worse, for better, for worse, you know? Um, and I decided it's not everybody's responsibility to see me.
Nope.
Yeah.
Uh,
It's my responsibility to show up and, you know, uh
well, I
blind
don't think it's the
and
aura
it's
of
my
no
responsibility
excuses.
my re our it's our responsibility to validate ourselves for
That's it.
who we are and to curate our own sense of expectations of ourselves. It's
Exactly.
nobody's responsibility to see us. It would be nice, but if they don't, guess what? I'm still moving and grooving. It doesn't matter.
And that's it. And people will say, "Oh, well, that's easy for you to say." No, it wasn't easy for me to say
No,
that. It takes a lot of courage to, especially at a younger age, to drown out the noise. Because think about it, in our 40s or 50s or whatever age, you still have to drown out the noise. And I think when we think about being younger, we think, well, physically we're able to heal quicker. Emotionally, we're not. As a matter of fact, it's just the opposite. I think as you get older, I think you have a higher tolerance for it. When we're younger, those wounds are much more shallow, right? And they stay with us. Now, physically, we can get over things a lot quicker. Mentally, we can't. And I think it's the exact opposite when we get older.
And you know who I'm thinking about right now? I'm thinking about Brittany from Salt Lake.
Because did you just watch the episode from last night from Greece? Because I did.
Last night,
On the
last night, last
bus,
night, last night.
it was the second part of Greece.
Are they still in Greece?
Oh, they are. It came out. I thought I missed the episode, and I will tell you, I watched it at like 2 o'clock in the morning
Okay,
last night.
okay. Is there a new okay, the last episode I saw
Were they talking about her on the bus? I won't give it away. Were they talking
I
about her on
love
the
I
bus?
love the fact that she trademarked high body count hair. You
It
go,
was the
girl.
episode after that.
And I saw the episode after that. Is there another one after that?
Did
I've
you
been
see the episode where they made allegations against when she was in the spa and she was flinging water
yes.
against
Yes,
everybody? Okay,
yes,
so now we're on the same one.
yes, 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 yes.
Remember on the
Okay.
bus when they were just claiming
Leave
that she
her
was an
alone.
alcoholic?
Leave Brittany and Meredith alone. Leave them alone, okay? Leave them
That's all
both
they're doing is talking about it,
alone.
by the way.
Literally, like, you okay, I don't know if what I'm seeing is what I'm seeing, but one of the points of contentions that the fans have against Britney is that she's a bad mom. She put men before kids, blah 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 blah, blah and all those things. And you know what? You shouldn't have done that, Britney. That's absolutely unacceptable, and you need to fix that. And it sounds to me that even being vulnerable enough to put this out on television for us to see is her way of trying to fix it. Whatever I don't know what the why is as to why she did that. We don't know. I don't know if she's ever explained it. I feel like I need to go back and watch. But just to even put the vulnerability out there to let us see her mother daughter kind of express her anger and
Girl,
outrage to her mom going through therapy on camera.
girl,
She's trying to fix it.
Utah,
Leave her
Utah,
alone.
Utah, Utah,
Oh, Utah. I don't know anything about Utah.
the position of
Clearly.
women in Utah, the majority, like, they do, come on now, like,
I
it's
don't know anything about the Utah.
so, well, a lot of people and I'm gonna say it, my husband's used to be Mormon, so, the position of women in Utah, the Mormon faith, men are the pretty much they decide a lot of the things, and women are supposed to be submissive. And it doesn't mean that they can't contribute, doesn't mean they can't go to school or do all these things, but there is a very, very defined role of what it means to be one with the other. And I will tell you,
Mm.
you know, when you get divorced, that's looked down upon, especially in Utah. It is 100%. Getting divorced is, it's almost a cuss word. It is not to happen, right? And then, so you do that, and then you're like, I'm on my own. I have kids. If you look at Heather, if you look at her book, Bad
I'm gonna
Mormon,
read it.
and she
I'm gonna read
talks
it.
about the guilt and how she had to rebuild her life. And then they have um, viewpoints of what family is, the nuclear family, and the roles for women, the roles for men. Those
So
things are
are
still there.
are we so how does that apply to Brittany and her
Brit Brittany, well, she wasn't with anybody. So to seek someone that could give her stability,
Oh, I
that could take care
see.
of the kids. Look, I can't
Okay,
possibly do it on myself. If I'm going to
okay,
survive here in Utah,
okay.
it's going to be from this man.
So she wow, okay. And so at the expense of her daughter, she's trying to fulfill the responsibilities and expectations of the Mormon religion, which things that you okay.
And
Wow.
in that
Okay.
religion,
I didn't know
you
this.
put your spouse first.
Mm,
Whoever you're with first.
okay.
Everybody else comes afterwards
Interesting.
traditionally. That is the
Interesting.
rule.
I
So,
I just feel like they make her a punching bag for whatever reason, and Angie K, has so many lovely things about her, but I think she was less lovely, uh, this last episode, just in the episode about the high body count, just going at her, just going at her, just going at her, just go I mean, like
Hun,
and
come
what
on.
I like about Britney, as I said in the little I don't know if you had a chance to listen to the little shorts that I did when you're gone, I said, "Leave her alone," campaign, "Leave Britney alone." She's a lot tougher than what she's showing up on camera. She's one of those people like, "Okay, you keep poking the bear, and I'm going to blow." Like, she takes it all in. She takes it in stride. She said, "Oh, you're literally," she says, "You're literally insulting me with a smile. You're literally calling me stupid right now."
And
Mm, got it. Note it. Like, she's taking notes.
you
But I
get where I'm
get
go like, I'm trying to because my point is never to offend, but my husband used to be Mormon, and most of my in-laws still live there, and I have seen it, and I have witnessed it, and it is
but Angie K's not Mormon, is she?
I don't know if she
No,
is or
she's
she
priest.
isn't,
Yeah.
but living in Utah, there whether you're Mormon or not, there is a lifestyle, there is a promotion as to how things are supposed to be. When
I
you're in
see.
Utah, everything is supposed to look
Oh,
and
that's really
feel a certain way.
I
And you
see.
know what? That is exhausting.
That's exhausting.
And I will tell you, there's more people that live in my county in California that live in that whole state of Utah. So I take it for what it is when I'm there because it's not that one's better than the other. It's just when 90% of like, you have to go into different counties in Utah to hold an alcoholic beverage. Like the amount of control that's there, whether you believe in something or not, most of the people money is tied into certain things and
Mhm,
you've really got to look into it and
mhm.
it doesn't mean that they're bad or good. I'm not saying any of that. I'm just
It's
saying
just a different lifestyle.
it's a
It's a
different
different lifestyle.
lifestyle
So
and if
that's
you're going to live in Utah, be ready for it.
yeah, I'm okay. Uh, I'm an LA girl
I'm
too.
not going there either. As a matter of fact, I'd go there to host their pageant. That's about it.
Yeah.
That's it.
So, I just I my heart kind of feels for Britney, but I think also Britney is extremely smart and then smarter than people give her credit for. Maybe her emotional IQ is not where it probably needs to be, and who knows what that reason is. I'm excited to dive into Britney. Maybe Britney's the next one we cover.
Well,
We have
Brittany's
ideas about
amazing.
we have a roster of people we're gonna have to decide.
Well, Brittany's amazing, but her daughter confronting her and saying, "This is how I feel
I love that.
as
I loved it.
you're my parents. This is how I felt you treated me." Called her mom out, and as a matter of fact, Brittany did not deny it. And I think
And
that
that's
that's what comes from this social, which I was trying to say, the social structure of living in a state controlled by religion. And I'll leave it at that.
but the fact that she could call her out and put that on camera and own it,
Yeah.
and didn't try to talk her way out of it, I applaud her. I applaud her, you know? I mean, we all make
Yeah.
mistakes as parents. If my son put me on to tell me mistakes that I
Yeah.
made, I don't know if I'd have the guts to, like, to push that out to the world, because we all make mistakes, but
Well, girl, look, right now I'm I'm censoring some of the things that I really want to say. And I think it's because it's not we I don't think it's ever about to offend, but the minute that you say something about some place or something that people don't agree with, they're going to go to the opposite end and they're going to feel
well,
offended.
you know what? Let's
And it's just exhausting, other
let
than going, it is what it is.
part of the good edit let's just take Housewives out of it. Let's just talk about the good edit um, I hate to use this word, schema on how you
Okay.
live your life. My good edit says, "Sorry, mom. It's okay not to give a fuck about what people think." I'm sorry,
Okay,
mom.
can I just give
I'm
you a
sorry,
big
mom and
hug
dad.
right
Rest
now?
in peace. I gotta
Because do
say
you
it.
realize I could not even say the F word in front of my in-laws because they would consider that offensive. And I'm
Yeah, I mean,
going, oh
it's
my
not
goodness.
my dad
If
always
I
said
said the
it's not
word God, it's offensive to them. And at some point, you just have to go, really? I'm supposed to censor my life to make you comfortable? No,
my
it doesn't work that way.
exactly. I mean, my dad always said it's not
No.
ladylike to cuss and stuff, but sometimes I just gotta do it. And and I think part of the edit that we're looking for in life, the good edit, is to live our life on our own terms, to take responsibility where it matters and where we're supposed to try to correct, past mistakes, to live authentically, to see people authentically, but also living authentically means that you've got to, for lack of, you've got to own your own world and own your own opinions and not care about what people think and not care about, like, do I carry this bag? Do I live in this zip code? Like should I say this? Just say it and just be done with it already. And know that when you're born in this life, because all of us are born the same way, and I'm not going to say it as crass as my mother says it because that would be truly unladylike, but all of us are born in the same way and we all die the same way. The stuff that matters in between is living your best life, and you're not
Yeah.
living your best life if you're not taking ownership of your choices and saying, "You know what? I matter, my choices matter. How I live my life is how I live my life, and I don't give a fuck about who think what I'm doing what I do. I do what I do,
And you're not above me, but
and you're not
when
above me."
you live in
Yeah,
certain states
yeah,
and you believe in certain religions,
yeah.
if you do a certain thing, you are, quote, above other people. You get to this higher status if you do these things. And it's like, get out of here.
Really?
I love Utah, but I don't feel comfortable in Utah because there's a false sense of everything is controlled by one religion, by one way of thinking compared to the rest of the country.
Well, I'm
Like,
gonna leave it at that because what I'm thinking right now is not a good edit. I think I need to research and be very objective about why that is the way it is. Hey, question for you. Have you watched, do you watch Potomac, Real Housewives of Potomac? Like, I need to get into that. I need to get into Married to Medicine. What about Vanderpump Rules? You're just
nope.
strictly Salt
I
Lake and
no, no,
VH.
I will tell you this now. I will tell you this. You're not gonna like this because it's not reality TV based, but
Talk to me.
he heated rivalry, the gay
I know
hockey
this.
thing. It's 6 episodes. It just started. They just did this thing in West Hollywood where
Gay
the main
hockey
characters it's
thing.
called Heated Rivalry. It's
Okay.
6 episodes, season one. They already signed on for two. It's not for the young folks out there, it's for adults. But I will tell
Ooh,
you, I love hockey. That's all I'm gonna say.
okay.
And
I'll
it was I just went, it's a great story about the forbidden. It's almost like Brokeback Mountain on skates, if I had to
Oh,
call it something.
that was actually a
It's
really good movie.
it's
That movie
actually
taught me a
one
lot.
of my favorites. It really is like that, and, uh, it was intense. That would be more of my show. Reality TV based, obviously, because of you, your recommendation, Beverly
Well, you
Hills.
need to get
I
up
love
on
Salt Lake
Potomac.
City.
Gotta get up on Potomac, you're gonna love it.
Potomac,
Yeah,
I've gotta figure this
just
out.
watch just start this season.
I will do that. Whatever I listen to you, whatever you tell me to do, I do. So,
Don't do that. Here, adopt this dog.
I will actually, I will.
Crazy dogs. No, that's Blue. Blue likes to check in on me every now and then. He is he's blue because his eyes are blue. This is call him Blue. BLU, Blue. Your cheekbones are really cheeking.
It is
You've
the
got this physical
lighting.
thing going on. What's
It
happening?
it's the lighting. It's
Oh,
post, the
do I need lighting?
holidays. It's the post holidays. It's been, like, my sister knows to how to feed me in Pennsylvania, and when I come back to California, I know how to eat one meal a day. But when I'm in
Dang.
Pennsylvania and I wake up to breakfast is made for me, the guacamole is set out on the counter,
Well,
the snacks are there,
it's
the dinner's
impossible to
planned.
eat well
Like,
during
you
the
just
holidays.
you
It's
just
just
you
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 give up.
just put on 10
You give up.
pounds, and
Yeah,
then you
it's
lose it when you leave.
we had so many different things going on. We had, like, somewhere to be. There was one week we were somewhere, like, every night. There's
I
no
saw.
there's no eating well with that. So now I'm glad that we're back to kind of like how I do things. Now, yesterday, I told you about how I'm transferring this room to make it my closet.
Yes.
So excited by that. I worked on that all day. I didn't eat till 4 o'clock. I was so motivated by organizing and purging, organizing, purging. I'm so excited by that. I
Not
can't,
the way that you're saying purging, by the way. So,
no, not purging like that, but purging like my clothes, like things that I don't need. So, I actually had 1 meal yesterday, and which is not like me. I usually like to have 2 or 3, but,
Yeah.
that's how excited I was to get this off the ground. I swear it's one little room, and I'm treating it like it's Lisa Vanderpump's closet. Like, that's how excited I am about this one little space. And, like, if I had a closet
But
like
that
hers,
makes me feel good.
I don't know how if I could be even more excited about a closet like that as I am, like, my little space that I'm putting together. The poor room has had more renovations and more iterations of different uses, but finally
Yeah.
it's a closet, so I can't wait for you to see it when I'm done.
Can't wait.
I'm thinking about painting the walls, like, black, like a dark black or dark
There's
blue,
how
dark
yes,
green,
blue, yes, blue, because you can
something
have an
dark.
accent. You can have an accent wall. I would do dark blue with like a gray and a white because I think those colors together are just timeless. They're
Yeah, I want it
modern.
to be
They're bold.
sexy.
Yeah, black, I love, but if you're gonna do black, then I want the whole thing black because black,
I was
I'm
thinking
just like
about that
this.
too. I was thinking about all
Yes,
black.
I want it encompassed because it's
Yeah,
such a sexy color.
yeah.
So, but I know the walls of where you are right now and where you live, and I'm just going, let's start with dark blue, a gray, and a white wall, and then we can make something else.
I have a gray
Oh,
and a white wall, that's why I want it to be black. Our whole house is, like, gray, which I'm fine, but I want this to be,
well,
like,
then we're going black. Bet on
black
black.
and
I'm
black
ready.
is
Let's get
best.
out.
Everybody know it.
What about black and red?
No,
Why?
I no.
No.
That's I had a red wall back in the day. I think well, it could be like a darker it just needs to be a darker color that's kinda sexy and maybe get a neon sign that says real bitches matter. Real bitches
Okay.
only
Well then,
apply.
I have an idea for you. Because I went to Penn State University. Our colors are navy blue, gray, and white.
Mm,
But what most people don't know about Penn State is our original colors were black and pink.
I can do that.
Black and pink, I think would be a great addition because I just if I'm sitting back, I'm thinking about the sexiness of you and your hubby. Because 'cause I'm sorry, I do have a crush on your husband. Yes, I said it on camera. So I just think black and pink would be great.
Well, I'm a little less partial to pink. Well, I'm a blue
Dark.
and gold girl for certain reasons. We'll talk later. But I do like the idea of black and maybe a little bit of red, but not a red wall per se.
What about silver?
That I can do.
Hi. Black and silver.
I don't know, I'm gonna do some
Or
AI
green. Green.
green?
Black and green is so
You know,
freaking
remember
sexy.
did you see Crystal Minkoff's, Crystal from, she redid her basement, and I think the color of her basement was the color I'm after. If you Google it, you can see. I think it was like
Take a
a
look.
dark, dark green. It was super sexy.
You know,
Anyway, I want it dark. We spent
green and black is sexy.
you're gonna have to show it to me. I'm gonna have to AI it and see what happens.
I'm just gonna have to find an outfit that has green and black with I'll
Yeah,
just
but
be a
for my
walking.
walls, totally different thing.
I just don't kill this for me, okay? I think that black and green is so sexy together. It's like the emerald with like the black diamond with the emerald. Think about this. Like those two colors, I think
Oh,
complement each other
okay.
so well. I think
Okay.
it's sexy, it's modern, it's timeless. So,
Okay.
you know what?
We
I
should
think
just
you
go
and
to
I are
Lowe's
gonna
and
go
go
shopping.
shopping for colors and
I'm
stuff.
ready.
Let's
I'm
do it.
ready.
Let's just do it. Let's just do it. Okay. Anything else we got to talk about? I always love talking to you. So much fun.
Well, I mean, I'm probably gonna get in trouble for half the stuff that I said, but
Cares?
I
Like
don't mean
literally,
any disrespect to any of it other than it
you
is
know
my
what?
opinion.
Maybe this is the season, Chris, that we just live out
I don't
loud.
care
Maybe we just liberate ourselves
because we're
by
not
living out.
offending.
Yeah, liberate ourselves by living out loud, and by default, we liberate others to live out loud too.
Yeah. The purpose isn't to
But not
offend. It's
hurting anybody, but we don't wanna hurt people's feelings. I don't like that, but
I would never.
yeah,
I just
and I don't
you
like being
know,
rude.
yeah, but everybody gets to decide what rude is. So think about that. As much as we say we're not being rude and these are our opinions, there's another person out there will go, well, that's rude. So you can't control that either.
No,
So now it
no.
just has to be, are you comfortable on a public platform saying, this is how I feel?
Here's the problem. People don't know how to voice discontent in a way that does not come off rude, right? So you can say, let's just take what we just covered today, the Erica of it all. Well, I think
Yeah.
Erica's guilty because, she didn't have empathy for the victims and she didn't give back the earrings. And you might write and say, you can respond to that in two different ways. You can be like, "Bitch, please," da 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 da, da. Or you can say, "You know what? I see your point of view." It's called sandwich method. I see what you're saying. On the outskirt, it does look like she's guilty. But have you considered this? Da 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 da
That's
da da.
it.
Da. And if you learn how to like debate and offer points of dissenting opinions in a way that is smart and that's respectful, you're still living out loud, you're still voicing your opinion, but you're also validating that that's their opinion too,
But
without, like,
not
kinda going for
everything
the
that,
jugular, and that's what I
but
don't
not,
like. I don't like when
but
people
not,
jugular.
right. But not everything that people are saying is up for debate. A lot of times it's like what we're doing right now. We're just talking about how we feel. Now, when you get to the conversation of somebody who has a diverse or a different opinion, you can go, okay, so I think that's where I think what you're saying totally, like, you hit the nail on the head. I'm totally there. When you're already coming, like, I've heard myself say this several times already because I would never want to offend, and I've already had to start off by saying that. I would never want to offend, but this is my experience.
Right.
So, I hear you, but you're never fully, even with those words, going to be able to control the narrative because sometimes people are in such a mindset where they're controlled to believe a certain
Yeah.
way that it doesn't matter what you say. Even if you said the most perfect thing, it's gonna go
But it
over here.
but it's not about controlling the narrative, it's about you being able to contribute to that conversation and walking away knowing that you did your due diligence to
That
see that person and to respect, and you can bounce out of that conversation. I'll give you an example. I was on Reddit, whatever reason, late at night, I decided to respond, and I usually don't respond to things, and somebody said, and this is where I pause too, when people give opinions, it's very absolute. Anybody who, and I think the tagline was, and I might have, I mean, the statement, the topic was, anyone who doesn't watch Real Housewives of Potomac or other franchises of color is a racist. So, me taps into the conversation. I said, I don't know if white women, no, it was white women who don't watch other franchises such as Potomac or Married to Medicine are racist, or Atlanta are racist. And so I said, well, I don't know if they're necessarily racist, although there might be some that are racist. I think it's possibly also not being able to relate to some of the franchises and the culture of the franchises that they see.
Mhm.
That's where I left it.
And what you just did
Was
was
opened up
give
and
a you gave a different opinion without chastising, but you gave a different perspective. And I think sometimes you have to leave people with that
well,
perspective.
let's go to part 2 of the story. So then they write back,
Oh, they were back.
"Sis, please, you're giving them a pass. Da 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 da." And I said, "No, I'm saying that, for example, there's a certain franchise, and I'm not gonna name it, that I personally cannot culturally relate to, therefore, I'm not going to watch it. I don't watch it
I
because
know exactly which one you're talking
I
about.
don't relate to it. If it's on, it's because 'cause I'm doing laundry or mopping, cleaning the patio or something, but I just don't relate, so I'm not invested in watching it, so I could respect that, uh, little white woman from Maine turns on Atlanta, and there's so many cultural nuances and idiosyncrasies that happen in that show that I don't really know what I'm watching. I'm just gonna stick to Orange County or Beverly Hills. I'm not gonna, you know what I mean? Like, I'm gonna stick to those franchises that I know. Is that racist? No, it just means that she's probably not interested because it doesn't connect to her lived experience. I
Sure.
don't know if that makes sense or not.
Yes.
Then somebody says, "So you're what are you really thinking that you relate to these people?" I'm like, "That is not what I'm saying."
And now you're giving the power to them.
I'm like, "Okay." And so then I just didn't respond because I'm like, "Okay,
Don't,
I'm not doing this.
don't,
I'm not doing this." But I think
don't.
it's okay for me to watch, like, I mean, Atlanta, of course I'm gonna watch Atlanta. Of course I watch Married to Medicine. Of course I watch Potomac because I like seeing Black women on the show, even though sometimes they treat each other most times they treat each other badly. I like seeing what Jizzy Jizz is up to. I like seeing, Portia. I like seeing people like me on camera. I relate to that, but guess what? I can also say that I also like watching Beverly Hills because, like, by proximity, and there's some things I relate to on that show, and I love Garcelle on that show. Like, and I
And
love Rose on that
let
show,
me
and I
say
like
this
Salt
really
Lake because they make
let me
me
say this
laugh,
really quick.
you know?
I only started watching Real Housewives because my husband used to be Mormon and he said, there is a different
Yeah,
take to Salt Lake
yeah,
City. Watch this. He got
yeah.
me into that. And then when I met, you're like, do you watch reality TV? Okay, we live close to Beverly, like look at Beverly Hills. So somewhat it was the
Yeah,
proximity and the
exactly.
right. So everything that you're saying makes sense. So I don't think it's one way or another. You just said right now, do you watch Potomac? I'm like, actually, I don't because I'm like, with the limited time that I have, I've already got these two. So now I'm
That doesn't make you
invested
racist.
on these two. But if someone like my best friend lives in Baltimore right now, so if he would have said to me before you watch Potomac, I probably would have done it. So I think we have to be careful with it. And I love
Yeah,
what you just said right now because uh, there's value in it. There's 100% value in it, and I think we just have to um,
and why do we need
take a
everybody to watch
pause.
it? We don't need everybody to watch it. Why do
We
we
don't
need
need to
to
watch. We don't need to watch it, but we
It's
also
not for
don't need to
everybody.
make.
That's
But
why they
we
have so many
also
different
don't need
shows.
to make accusations of why you're not watching it, and
Exactly.
that's where I have the problem.
And it was the absolute of it all. They are this because they don't do that. I mean, there's a couple of franchises and other shows I don't watch because I just really can't relate. I'm not that interested. It doesn't hold my
Yeah,
attention, so I'm gonna watch the things that hold my attention.
yeah,
Um, and I respect people that don't watch our shows because it doesn't hold their attention, period. That's it.
done.
And maybe they are racist. I don't know. I don't know. I
But
don't
you and I,
actually
we don't know them, right? So like we can have opinions about things, whether it's a certain show, whether it's a certain state, this or that. It's not ever putting anybody down. It's going, this is my opinion, and I would never want anybody to not say what they feel because they would feel that they would quote get
Yeah.
canceled for it, right? Because I don't think that that's appropriate at all. I think it comes down more to here's what I'm saying, here's what I think. I don't need you to agree with me. If you want to seek to understand, that's fine. But when you're saying Reddit, because I know you go to Reddit, I don't follow any of that, and I'm actually glad that I don't.
Yeah, you
Because
should
when
be.
they say certain things, all I've noticed when you talk about it is that it doesn't bring joy. So I
It
don't
does
wanna
it
listen,
does
right? And I don't wanna follow that stuff.
it no, and you're right, and with respect to this poster, I appreciate what she was trying to say. She's taking a protectionist stance against, franchises of color that
Yeah.
probably don't get the same level of respect as other franchises do, and she had every, right
Sure.
to do that. But I think, I think when you assert an opinion, you have to make sure that it's not absolute and it's not categorical. I think when it comes to the racism in general, I have a protectionist stance against Atlanta and Potomac by virtue of the fact and Married to Medicine because they're black shows and I ride for black shows. Do I care that racist Becky don't want to watch it? I really don't because I don't think about racism and I don't think about racist rather the way that they think about me and my black self. Like so they can do whatever they need to do because I'm still gonna be black and fabulous. That's it. So you don't need to watch the show to make me feel better. Like it's just what it is. So I just feel like we just have to be, a little bit even in this space of the good at it, like to make sure that as we're talking about things that it's not an absolute, but we're really considering
No,
both sides. I
I
think
think we can
practice
come back to it. Like I can look at situations and places around the country where I'm uncomfortable. It doesn't mean that they're wrong,
yeah,
but here's why I feel that way.
uh-huh,
I'm not asking you to change. I'm telling you this is why I feel that way. And I think the good edit comes from I'm still gonna go there. I'm still gonna show up. I
Yeah,
still love you.
yeah,
And I think that's
1000%.
where it comes from. And I think that's where all this is. And I think the more we push things under the rug, I don't think that's a good edit. I think more of a good edit is I'm uncomfortable in this situation from these characters, from this show, from these people, and here's why. And just because you're uncomfortable doesn't mean you're putting the other person down or the other thing down. You're going, this has been my experience. I would love a take two or a take three or a take four. And I'm talking about it because probably the ultimate goal is to get to that. But if it doesn't happen, here's my truth. And when you speak your truth, I don't think it's ever something that you need to be ashamed of. But yet we always hang our heads because if we ever say something about something else that doesn't resonate with us, the automatic assumption is, well, we're putting it down. It's not that we're putting it down. It's more
It's
of,
called
this
thoughtful
was my
inquiry and questioning.
experience.
Yeah.
This was my experience. And that actually is the good edit. Instead of saying, this is crap, I'd never go there again, blah, blah, blah. Now, there's a different story. The good edit is, I was uncomfortable here in this situation with this happening, with whatever it was. And this is why. However, and then you always get back to, well, they might feel this way for this reason or that. That's what the good edit is. And that's exactly why we're doing what we're doing right now because I think the hatred and the disgust and in a lot of ways, the apprehension and anxiety that we get from other people comes from that there's only two sides to every story, and that's not true.
No, there's
There's
so
your
many different
side,
layers and
there's
objectives.
their side, and there's in some ways, there's this huge gray area, and I think that's what you and I are trying to in many ways try to evoke to other people, especially with these characters on reality TV, whether they are edited by a producer or they come on TV and they say things freely, however it is, um, take a step back
Yeah.
because we've all said and we've all done things that if a camera was on us right now, it wouldn't necessarily be the best edit. The good edit that we get is, and we've talked about this, is the
And
why behind it.
and listening more, reflecting more, judging less. You still might walk out of there with your opinion is your opinion, but at least you grew from it and you learned somebody else's opinion. And you know what? You do that, you live a lot longer, by the way. But you open IQ points just went up because you considered somebody else's point of view, right? And the world becomes a little bit bigger than the narrow world that you occupy. So and I agree with you. Reddit is the cesspool of America. But I go on there because I wanna understand what people are thinking about Housewives, so that's why I kinda go on there. The key is to not comment, and so I'm learning not to comment.
But
On that night, it was like
do
I
you
couldn't sleep, I just commented.
well, do you understand what they're saying by those comments, or are you just because I think sometimes when we take people at their worst, we're not really understanding what they're trying to say.
That's a good point. I'll have to think about that the next time I come up across something stupid.
Because because here's the reality. Like I think of someone like anybody
Well,
who's important to me in my life, and anybody who's important to you. Like I think we've got to go deeper and beyond
well,
that. And it's so
to
again,
to your point, yeah, to your point, like in the case of the one the subreddit I just talked about, yeah, I understand. When I really think about it, there's a protectionist, you know, uh, to me that a protectionist kind of effort to say, "Hey, these shows matter." And my lived experience probably is rooted in, not being seen. I'm seeing it played out on how people don't, white people or whoever don't endorse these other shows like they endorse the other shows. So I get it. I get it. But I also think what you're also saying is that even in choosing to respond or not to respond to certain comments, take a minute to pause and understand what are they really trying to say, then just go. And in that moment, it's like 1 o'clock and then 2 o'clock. I'm not. I just, emotionally just went into and even trying to stay for the debate, and then the debate, like, just was starting to get bigger, so I'm like, "Okay, I'm out. I'm
And
done."
then, the worst part is when you have you've done your research, someone like you who's done their research, someone else says something, and then you start to question the pure belief that you have in your heart. And it's not in any way, knowing you, your opinions towards anybody are not hurtful, they're not malice, they are 100% whether you like someone or whether you don't like
Yeah.
someone. It's done so respectfully.
I try to be
And when
respectful.
but when there's a lot of people on that forum that don't do that. And I think that's where you get beaten down because even when you want to say to someone, "Oh, I agree with you," but you almost want to go, "But why'd you have to say it that way?" And that's
And
kind of where we're at.
and that's why I appreciated that one Redditor who said, "You are allowed to you should be allowed to say who you like and don't like without." It's like she provided the safe space where people were coming, and I'm gonna send you take a look at that link. If anything, look at that
Sure.
one. The amount of support that our character of the day has, that EJ was getting, about people really understanding her situation the way we've been explaining it. I was
Yeah.
like, "Wow." So there's a lot more thinking, empathetic, humanistic, objective
Yeah.
people out in the world than I thought.
Well, a lot of times the people that
It
hold the
was
most
refreshing.
power are the ones that stay silent because, um, you know, great example. Uh, our school district voted on a tentative agreement. The people that were so vocal, this isn't enough, blah, 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 blah. They're the same 150, 200 people. Then you get to the vote. The rest of us that were quiet, it passed by an 8-2 margin. Why? Because the people that are always unhappy are usually the ones that are outspoken.
Yep.
Those that are like, let the process play out how it may. This is
It's the
what I
quiet
feel
ones that
about
you
it.
gotta
It
worry
always
about.
works out.
Yep.
Reddit has their forum because primarily, and I'm going to go out on a limb here and say it, it's a forum for people to bitch. So uh, good for you, and I'm happy for you.
Okay.
And if that's what you want to get from it, good for you.
Yeah.
I'm
You're
not
right.
reading it.
You're right. You're right. But I
I'm not
do learn a
reading it.
lot. I think in a way, in a weird way, it kinda makes me better because I'm like, I'm not committing to this mindset. Let me keep going." I don't know.
Yeah.
Alright, darling, I gotta get to the Apple Store because did I tell you my phone died? My Apple 16, iPhone 16 does not exist
And
anymore.
FYI, if you're gonna get the 17 like I have,
I think I might have to
if
get
your
it.
phone does not have the updates, I cannot connect Apple CarPlay. It's been the most miserable 2 weeks. So just make sure if you go in and get the 17, uh, make sure that your car has the update. Otherwise, you're gonna be doing what I'm doing right now,
Oh, I
and
can't do
I
that because I
cannot
haven't
connect.
okay, so I'll stick with the 16. I wish I could just go back to the iPhone 7 because that was
I'll
the
go
best
with
one.
you.
That one and the BlackBerry and the Razor. Can we just bring those 3 phones back?
Let's go.
I'd be very happy
I
with
love you.
life.
Love you.
Yeah. I think I've had every cell phone known to man. Alright. I love you. Gotta
Well,
go.
page me later. Just kidding.
Page oh, Nextel? I had a Nextel pager. Remember the Nextel was so big and clunky? I had a red one.
143 L 143. So there you go.
I had a black but the BlackBerry, that was the best phone. The Razor, the what was the other one? Oh, iPhone
Yes.
4 and the iPhone s
6?
6 or 7. I love that phone.
Yeah, I know exactly the one. Yeah.
But you can't use them on this network,
Oh,
that's the thing. Otherwise, I would totally go
right.
back to that. I would have no problem with that. Alright, honey, I gotta go. I love you. Bye.
Nice.